What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Nick Wavy. I'm back with a new video. Now, the last video I made about how buying cars was my worst financial decision of my life, that video started to blow up, and so many people were commenting saying thank you for sharing your experience, and then they were sharing how they got in bad situations when they got their car too. So that proved to me that there's people out there that will use that information and will prevent themselves from putting themselves in a poor financial contract, so I'm happy that it changed your lives for real. So someone messaged me on Instagram and he said, can you take a look over my contract? I don't know what it means and I don't get it. I'm like, this is not my job, but I figured I could look at it and I'd be able to even understand it more myself. And I feel like now that we'll be able to go over this a second time, you may have a better understanding of how these car contracts work. So right here is the bill of sale. So the vehicle sales price right there, you can see the car cost pretty much $11,000. The tax, whatever the tax is in that state, came up to $717, and then the total price for the car is $11,716. So that's just the car. And when you get cars and you finance them and you're at the dealership, there's a whole lot of fees that they're gonna hit you with that you don't even know about. So the license fee or the documentary fee, I'm not too sure what that is, but I guess that's to prepare all the documents for the financing. So that's, I guess that would change per dealership because they may have different fees for preparing the documents. And then the license fee, which is $140, that's fair enough. And then your total of those other fees, the licensing and documentary fee, came up to $290. So that's $290 plus the original $11,716. So you see how it's starting to go up, right? There's more. So on the additional products, you can see he has a product that costs $999, and he has night management insurance services, which costs $395. I don't know what that is yet, but I know in the other picture it'll give us the breakdown. So we'll get into that. But those other products now cost an additional pretty much $1,400 that goes on top of the sale of the car. So you see how these prices they start to go up. So the total sales price for everything, I'm gonna assume, is the $13,400, and then the cash down payment, he paid $2,000 cash, and that means you owe $11,400 for the car, and that's including your $2,000 down payment. So you're going to be financing the $11,400 from the bank. So the second page, it seems like it's the breakdown of the financing. So you can see here, let me get my pen. Where'd that go? Okay, so you can see here that he needs to borrow $11,400 from the bank at a rate of pretty much 15%. So that's 14.59% per year from the date of this contract until maturity. So basically your interest rate is 14.59%, and you're gonna be paying that every year from what this contract is telling me. And again, I'm no expert at this. I'm just giving you a general look, and I'm just looking at this just like that. My interest rate was 7% per year, and your interest rate is 15%. So you're gonna be paying 15% per year for what you're borrowing. So annual percentage rate right here is 15%. The finance charge is $4,241, and the amount financed is $11,400. So for you to borrow $11,400 from the bank for 54 months that we have right there, that's 4.5 years. It's gonna cost you an additional $4,241. So that's almost double, or that's almost half of what you're borrowing in total, because it's every year the interest is adding on to what you owe. Right, and from what this is telling me, it's the unpaid balance. So 14% of the $11,000 right here, that's gonna be however much percentage, and then after the year, you're only gonna owe maybe like $8,000, $9,000, and it's gonna be 14% on top of that. And that's what I think, and that's what I'm assuming right now, and it's gonna go down like that for 4.5 years. So correct me if I'm wrong, post in the comment section down below. But as you can see, your car only costs $11,000 right here. But to finance it, you're paying an additional $4,241 over almost 5 years. So in total, you're actually borrowing $15,641 from the bank. And you're like, wait a minute, but my car only costs $11,000. but that's because you're borrowing money from the bank and your interest rate is actually pretty high. I know mine was 7, that was pretty high. I found that high, and yours is 14. So you're paying basically $15,000 after the total 54 months. You would have given them 15 grand. As you can see here, you have monthly payments and 54 payments, and you're paying $289 every month. And it's monthly payments. So okay, so this next section right here is pretty much breaking down how much is being financed. So I'm just looking at this roughly. So the total price of the car, you know, before everything, as you can see here, was $11,716, and that was just for the car, which is what we have here, right? And then you did a down payment of $2,000, so now the price of the car is $9,700, okay? And then you have debt cancel. So this right here is all the sections of, these are the other things that the dealership will add on to your contract to basically boost the price. And the messed up thing is that they're doing that and you're also borrowing that money from the bank. So a lot of the things you're getting are, they may be unnecessary, but you're also borrowing it from the bank. So you're paying more money plus interest for something you don't necessarily need. So as you can see here, there's a fee called debt cancellation agreement fee paid to the seller. So I didn't know what that was, so I researched it, and from what I understood and what I read, debt cancellation is, for example, if you die, you know, your debt goes away. That's just it's a way to cancel your debt. So if you die, you know, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, you know, your debt is still, someone has to pay that debt. But I guess you have the debt cancellation agreement, so you know, you'll have to look at the terms of the debt cancellation to see what qualifies you to get out of the debt. You know, death, that's the one thing I read on the description. So that's where you have to be careful, because these insurance companies are like, oh yeah, but you have to die by natural causes. You can't die by a car accident. You know what I mean? And then they say, no, sorry, the debt is still alive. So you really have to read these contracts to see what they're saying. So you paid an additional $395 for that. Official fees paid to government agencies is nothing. Dealer's inventory tax. So you see how there's so much other fees here that, you know, you don't know what are. Government license fees, $139, and documentary fee. Okay, there's that. And then we come over here, and the debt cancellation agreement is $395 for 54 months. And this picture right here is a better breakdown of, you know, what the additional fees are. So remember, we had the debt fee right here, the debt cancellation, and we had the government fee. Then we had the documentary fee right here. And now you have Marathon Administrative Company, and that's $9.99. So I assume and I believe that's your, yeah, this is your extended warranty. So your extended warranty is basically if something happens to your car, and it says here you either you have it for 12 months or 12,000 miles. So within that time period, if something goes wrong with your car, to your powertrain, your coverage is your powertrain. So correct me if I'm wrong, your powertrain, Google what your powertrain is. I can't give you a specific answer what powertrain is, so Google it. But I believe it's something like the frame of the car, like some engine work, the turbos, the big components of the vehicle. So that's going to be covered for 1 year or 12,000 miles, and you paid $1,000 for that. So add that onto, you know, your fee. And then total other charges paid. So the $9.99 plus the $395 plus the $139 plus the $150 comes up to an extra $1,683, and that adds on to the total price of the car. And now you need to finance a total of $11,400. And yeah, I think that's basically it. So what I see that's wrong with this, not wrong, but what I see happen here is you paid, your interest rate is pretty high. 14% is pretty high. Your down payment seemed like a lot, right? But if you think about it, your down payment, the $2,000, only covered pretty much all those extra charges. Like you can see here, the $1,600, the $900 for the $1,000 for the extended warranty, the $400 for the debt cancellation, the documentary fee, and the other fee that came up to $1,600. So your $2,000 down payment pretty much only paid for all the extra stuff, and it didn't pay anything towards the car. You know what I mean? So it goes to show you that these little fees really add up, and they really take a bite out of your pocket. Another thing that I noticed besides the interest rate that was pretty high is that's about it. I think that's the only thing that's really, you didn't really pay for a lot of unnecessary fees. So that's not really a bad thing. The only issue is that your interest rate is pretty high. So after paying your down payment, you're gonna owe the bank, I think it was $11,400. But after borrowing that money for 4.5 years from the bank, you're gonna end up paying an additional $4,000. So that's almost half of what you paid for the car. So situations like that, I personally would put a bigger down payment down. And from my experience, I'm telling you from my experience, if I were to buy another car, I would definitely put a large down payment down. Like, I don't want to finance any money from the bank, as little as possible, because you just pay it back. You know, you just have to pay it back plus interest. You know, so it could be a stressful situation for you. And other than that, I hope you could understand what the contract is telling you. It doesn't seem too complicated, or this time around at least. You know, you have a good idea of how much it costs you. It's just the extra fees that really get you. So I hope you guys understood this video. Look at your contract, try and understand it, do your research if you have to. But it took me a while to understand it, and I think I did a decent job of breaking it down for you to understand. So I hope you understood this. You know, press the like button, post a comment down below. What do you guys think about this contract? It's not that bad. If I say so myself, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And yeah, subscribe to our notifications. I'll catch you on the next video.